Hello, Commander.
TV shows have some of the songs that you'll
I freaked out. I thought I saw water and I panicked. But hey, look at that. It's pretty much the same style map, just even more metal.
hooray. But no, think of like freaking Jellyfish Jam. Everybody knows that. Even if you didn't watch SpongeBob, you know,
Yeah.
you may not know what it sounds like, but when you hear it, you'll
When
know
you
it.
hear it, you know it. Yeah. Is that a Goblin
Gary
Slayer
Come
reference?
Home. Everybody loves Gary Come Home.
Yep.
Gary, I'm sorry.
I let the beat drop like old people with polio. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a Filthy Frank reference. I recently got back into listening to his Pink Guy album. You want to listen to an absolute fucking banger meme album? I highly recommend it. You got to go in with an open personality to it because it is a little bit abrasive, but. All right, so let's get into this Ilipa.
All right. I have bet on Doom's team so many times.
Ladies give lip. You gotta.
I'm now.
What? Sorry.
I was saying I've gone for Doom's team every single time now. For so long, but I'm done. I'm going for Gundam's team. Gundam's gonna win this one.
All right, so you're gonna place your apples in Gundam's team, not because you've seen the lobby and not because you know all the players by hand, but because you've been wrong every single time.
Been wrong choosing Doom. That's how I go. I see Doom.
You pick opposite.
Yeah, I pick
Dang.
Doom. I pick based on Doom, depending on how he's been doing recently. It's like ocean fluctuations, you know.
That can be a challenge. No, seriously, no, that is like a legitimate thing that a lot of pro players have a problem with. Is they'll come into like the scene, if you will, and they'll be absolutely like god tier. They'll win a bunch of tournaments. They'll win everything, and then like one season later, they're just completely gone because they've lost that funk, if you will.
That JoJo.
Yeah.
Mojo. But
this gives me the big pain.
It was Doom who disconnected, probably. No, it wasn't. Usually it's him.
Well, let's introduce the players then.
All right. Up on my team, we've got Gundam, Tommy Gun, Dirty Apples.
Whoa, hang on. I gotta get to them. Hang on. Whoa. Okay, Dirty Apples, Tommy Gun. Yep, you're good.
Python, Ematarkus. That's good. It's Russian now. And Anonymous.
Very nice. All right. And on my team, we have Buckwheat, Math Boy, Southern Savage, as we saw from the last game, and Fashy General. It's a 6v6 map on Ilipa. There is a total of 250 metal on this map, so it's a very open metal environment, so there's a lot of room to grow, but at the same time there isn't a lot of kind of terrain features that the players will be able to use to their advantage, which is something that they'll have to be aware of. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of very aggressive kind of docks and air fabber play or air bombers superiority kind of fights here, as getting the fastest moving army on a map like this is probably going to be the most advantageous. We might see an eventual transition to tier 2 vehicles, but I think that's going to be coming kind of later in the game, if you will, once the players have locked arms and have begun that tug of war game.
And they're far enough apart that I feel like we're going to have a very large air presence eventually.
Absolutely.
At least with players. MBC recently played on this map, actually. I know you probably remember that replay, or a similar one at least. But
yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Time for the Warring Lemon tip of the game. Your commander, your main unit, immediately after the game starts, as most people know, you throw down a factory. But after that, what do you do with it? You build one metal, and then you can either build a second factory or energy. And personally, what I do is I build one factory, get a metal, and then just have him building energy for the rest of the game, and I never have to worry about energy.
Well, let's see what Fashy General's done, because let's be honest, Lemon, you're not good. So let's see how he's done it. Just teasing.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
It looks like he's gone. So I think he's gone metal extractor, double power, or factory, double power, factory, power factory. I think that's the style. That's the direction he went. But that's just, oh, here we go. Okay, so yeah, then he's gonna build one more power. He's gonna go into air, 2 power factory, power factory. So
that's definitely
that's a
good way to do it.
Good build. Yeah, I like it.
That's probably the most effective way to do it. But if you don't have the time to macro that, just slap down the 1 factory, get your general 1 metal and then infinite energy, and then just use the fabbers to build more factories once those are done.
So real quick, I want to point out we have Waf Makatus. I'm gonna murder that name every time. Basically versus Fasci General. So
just call him Kievan Rus.
I'm gonna call him Bliet Man. So these two are going to be kind of skirmishing with each other. So it's actually really interesting because you have this kind of 4v4 setup where the players kind of like have to skirmish with each other. But everyone is just... It's a very messy map, almost at the same time as there is no features. There's a lot of action to go around.
Yeah. But, you know, I was thinking back to what you were talking about earlier, the fluctuations of professional gamers. I don't know if you ever watched many professional StarCraft matches, but there was
absolutely.
a player, SOS.
Yes.
He basically redefined the entire meta for 1 season and then just kind of... Like, it was one of the most amazing... He won the entire finals, and it was one of the most amazing things I had seen. Shit that people hadn't seen before, and they didn't know how to fight, so he just won. But then he just struggled in future seasons, because once people learned how to counter those strats, you know, how do you come up with...
Right, how do you counter that, and then... Right, absolutely. Absolutely. No, I see where you're going with that. Let's do a quick kind of look around.
The nice thing about this game is it's never gonna fucking update it again, so...
What is this? My heart!
Okay, that's the strat I was saying, except he's doing it terribly.
But
so...
this is the Fabric King. He's built all the docks and everything, and I know he's gonna just turtle up to all high heaven. But Lemon, this hurts my soul. Yellow is going for the, I think, first tier 2 of the
but
map.
It's okay. Look, he's got 3 tier 1 turrets up front, followed by 2 more tier 1 turrets.
Yeah, but the tanks are gonna roll through that.
Tier 1 turrets? No, it's fine. They'll stop them. Watch. Oh wait, no, they won't.
Wow, well, unironically,
like
they're actually doing a pretty good job at harassing everything. But yeah, these guys are going to have to fall back, and they are planning to eventually
build a tier 2 with a small wall in front of it, and you call it a day.
Oh, but there's a bomber.
Oh, the bomber.
The bomber getting some deeps. Yeah, tier 2 now coming up for a lot of these players. Oh, hey, look, we have a double medal on for green and teal. Fascinating enough. Sorry, there's just like so much going on that you can really only kind of like pick what you're paying attention to, and then just like watching the rest of the nightmare.
I'm currently looking at red, and he's turtling up and not doing anything, so that's...
Well, if you want to jump over to black and Dirty Apple, these two have been just clawing at each other since pretty much the
Dirty Apple's got this. Like, I mean, someone else can intervene,
got him.
But if no one else tries to help,
oh,
this isn't a good concave for pink. That's really not a good
Yeah,
concave.
no. Dirty Apple actually has a very commanding, like, almost presence in this engagement right now. The thing is, though, he's getting 2v1'd, and no one's really trying to support him, which is going to inevitably be the downfall.
It's very interesting. From what I've seen from these 2 games, Dirty Apple is the #1 player. Like, honestly.
Okay.
Like, just from these games that we've seen, it seems like he always is the powerhouse. He's got the economy, he's got the units, he can take them on, he can do whatever the heck he wants. Of course, but he's unranked, so we can't really see in 1v1 what he is. That's the thing, is in these multiplayer games, you've got these ranks going on, and they look real neat.
Right.
But those are for 1v1s. And you can just play 1v1s all day, get really good, and get up to Uber. But then you're thrown into these team matches, and if you don't know how to work with your team, and you don't know what the ideas, if you don't know what's going behind the eyeballs and the brains,
right, the heart of the game, I get you.
You can kiss your advantage goodbye. So I don't know how many games these Uber 1 and 2, whoever it is, Flashy and whoever Gundam or whoever it was the #2, have. games like this definitely have a better evening on the playing field, which is why I enjoy them so much personally.
Oh no, I completely agree with you, and that's why I also personally think that. Oh come on, why is it not Control M, please? It's not gonna. All right. Why I think that a lot of, I think PAs.
Cutting in and out.
Sorry, yeah, I had to refresh the game. PAs, I think, shine should have been. Ooh, hang on, big deal. Sorry, real quick. Forest Green is murdering Fabric King's entire economy because he has nothing but he has nothing but Fabbers. Buckwheat is actually rolling into Doom's base right now. He shouldn't be going for all of these docks, but it looks like he just wants to just end Fabric King, which is, I think it's a great idea, but I feel like going after the power, which makes these docks useful, is so much more valuable. And yeah, it looks like he's going for it now.
I love Fabric King. He's such a nice guy, very frequent player, very cool, but you don't need that many Fabbers. You can't do anything with that many Fabbers. You waste your early game and then you get steamrolled. And he does it every single game, so it's like, I don't know if he's ever willing to like learn better strats, but if he could be such a more powerful player.
Well, I think it's an interesting niche strategy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in this case, like, here comes Gundam basically rolling into both Doom and Buckwheat's, or no, Fabric King's, excuse me, his economy, and there really isn't much that he can do about it. His commander has to come up there. Oof. All right, well, that pretty much stops most of the aggression, but here comes Doom also repelling a lot of it. I mean, it looks like Gundam has pretty much been mostly thwarted. Lemon hasn't seen late game Fabric King. He's practically unstoppable. Sure, but if you can't survive to the late game, it doesn't matter how unstoppable you are because you're going to be dead before that, and that's what Lemon's getting at.
It's like, yeah, I've played tons of games with Fabric King. I know how powerful he can be late game, but it's like if he could take
it doesn't matter if you can't survive
he has and apply it to the early game, he'd be such a dominating force. But it's just he doesn't. And it's frustrating because I know he can. He's got the capability, but he's just got. Let's see.
It's just Fabbers right now. He's getting out tier 1 docks, but that doesn't matter.
Fabbers. I never have more. Yeah, at this point in the game, I'll probably have 10 to 12 tier 1 Fabbers and 2 to 3 tier 2 Fabbers.
This is a big deal. I don't know why this commander's so out of position, but Doom is in a very dangerous position with the Uber.
Doom's about to die.
No, he should be okay. These 3 levelers are doing an amazing job at protecting him, but they can only stay alive for so long until the commander is essentially exposed. But I mean,
Doom loves rushing tier 2, but it just, in team battles this big...
Yeah, you have to have presence first.
It's not.
Absolutely.
Because I know he's a good player. I've seen him in the past again.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been around since beta, I think.
Yeah, but it's just the struggle. Same with him in Fabric King. His struggle is just getting to that late game. Because he's already got tier 2. That's not something most people have at this point. At least tier 2 vehicles. Vehicles are the hardest to reach.
I'd like to point out that a lot of the different parts of this team is starting to crumble here. Buckwheat, his entire base has been more or less gutted here. Orange, Fashy, ooh, hello.
I really don't want to say anything, but it's kind of looking like...
It's looking rough. Yeah. It's looking very rough like it was last time.
It's looking like a GG, but I'm not fully
He's not willing to call it since last time.
Last game proved me wrong beyond all belief, so... Who knows? Maybe there's a Titan we don't see right now or something. Like
no,
last
that's fair.
Game. I'm checking.
So this is something that I want to point out as well. Half of the problem with having so many Fabbers and why it is an interesting early aggressive strategy, but you have to be able to secure it. His Fabric King's economy is at 54 because of the decision he made. And it's not fair to try and equate it like, oh, well, Gundam has 300 right now, and so he's doing so much better. But you can see why the strategy wasn't as strong for Fabric King in this situation. It could be that, I mean, obviously in the last game we saw it worked out quite well because he was able to be aggressive and secure his position. But because he wasn't able to secure, as soon as he lost his footing, the sand, the water hit the sandcastle and it all came crumbling down. As soon as...
The water hit the sand. That's just like one of the PETA things where it's like, don't say 2 killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, okay, sorry. As soon as the 18-wheeler semi-truck hit the puppy, there wasn't much left, all right? it was
I
gone.
thought you were making. I've never heard that saying before. I thought it was just like a make fun of a shit hit the fan.
Oh no.
Hit the fan.
No, but regardless, I mean, to Yellow's point, I mean, I don't think we've really talked much about the other team, but they've done an incredible job. I mean, credit where credit's due. They've done an amazing job at being aggressive. There goes Fabric King to Anonymous, and Dirty Apple on purple is still. I want to point this out. Dirty Apple and Southern Savage have been scrapping since basically as soon as the game started. These two have just been trying to murder each other, and no one has stopped them. Dirty Apple has been 2v1ing, 3v1ing, and he's still trying to kick. Doom now also killed off by Anonymous. I mean, basically, the teams are getting kind of cleaned up in the backyard, and actually, Fashi Jararal is next up on the murder plate here.
Oh, I've got a good tip for next game that I can give to the viewers. I've already thought of it. All right.
Get him.
The tip from the guy who is by no means a professional.
Okay. What is the tip?
Oh,
it's for the next. Oh, it's the next cast. All right, we'll save it for that one then. Yeah.
Stick around for the next game.
For the next game,
where you'll be able to hear my next Lemon's terrible tips. Except they're not too terrible. I can't enact on them always because I'm not the best player. Anyways.
So all that we have left is Math Boy, who's pretty much about to get overrun from 2 armies here, which is interesting. Oh, okay, see, I gotta give huge respect to Gundam here. He knows where the commander is. He sees this much larger tier 2 styled army, and so what is he doing? Completely ignoring it. He doesn't want to fight that army. He's going after the resources. He's going after the security. He's gonna see the commander with that orbital relay, but you can see, like, this Vanguard, it's coming after him. He doesn't want to fight that Vanguard. That Vanguard will fucking murder him. So he ignores it, and he goes after the rest of the infrastructure of Math Boy, and you can see his economy sucks now. 26% efficiency because he has no power. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
And he was their biggest player at this point, like basically their last hope. But let me also point out this. When it gets to late game, obviously you're going to want to go for tier 2 vehicles when it's getting super late game. Even if you've already got tier 2 bots, you're going to want to start getting vehicles for one thing, Pelters.
Yes, absolutely.
Or Shellers, or whatever you call them. They're the longest range. They have splash damage. They do insane damage. If you're fighting any ground army and you are up against Shellers and you don't have Shellers, you're screwed. It's over. So you definitely, Shellers are essential late game. Because even like Blue Hawks, they're great, but they don't do near the damage, and I don't think they have quite as much range. It's not happening.
Poor Buckwheat, the last man standing in this annihilation game. But big respect to Math Boy. Excuse me. Oh no, where's Buckwheat? Yeah, that was Buckwheat. So Math Boy's over here somewhere then. Yep, there he is. All right, so GG to.
Here's Light Blue's army that I've not seen this entire game play around. I wasn't looking at him, so that's what happens in these massive games.
Yeah, some player eventually gets left behind by accident, but.
I doubt any of these players will ever see this cast when it comes out in 6 months on your channel, but.
Oof. Ooh, Lemon, why are you doing this to me?
It's true. I'm sorry.